Today I'm doing a live demonstration and I'm going to show you the formula for finding the highest converting best keywords for your Google Ads for your service business. I'm going to show you how to choose the best keywords, and I'm also going to show you my winning keyword strategy, which works for both large and small budgets. Now, these strategies are specifically for service businesses, so people like tradesmen, home services like pest control, healthcare such as physios and chiropractors, legal services, accountants, and really any other sort of service business. Before we start, if you haven't watched one of my videos before, my name's Adrian from Grow Savvy Marketing, and I help service businesses get more leads and sales using Google Ads. Okay, let's start with what are keywords and why they matter. So keywords are what people type into Google. So if you're searching for something in Google, you type something in, that's a keyword. And what you'll be doing is you'll be adding relevant keywords into your Google Ads account. So for example, if we hop over to Google, we might type in plumber Sydney, if you're looking for a plumber in Sydney. So this is what someone is searching for, and you'll be entering that keyword into your Google search campaign, and that tells Google that you want your ad to show when someone types in this keyword or a variation of it. And so there's different types of keywords. So we have very broad keywords, just like plumber, and that doesn't really give us much information about what the person is searching for. It doesn't give us the intent. And by that I mean, if they type in plumber, are they looking for plumber jobs? Are they looking for plumbing supplies? Are they looking to hire a plumber? Could be anything. So generally we want to avoid these really short, broad keywords. Instead we want to go for something a bit more specific, like plumber Sydney is a little bit more, but even more specific is blocked. So we might go blocked toilet plumber Sydney. That's even a lot more specific. So by choosing the right keywords, you're going to get a much more specific, targeted user search. So it's going to tell you a lot more about the intent of the person typing in the search, and that's going to lead to better ad performance. It means more people are going to click your ad because it's going to be more relevant to them, which means your click-through rate is going to be much higher. And having a higher click-through rate, which is the number of people that click your ad compared to the number of times your ad is shown, having a higher click-through rate means that your ad costs will end up being lower, or you'll be positioned ahead of your competitors on Google if your click-through rate is better. So you're going to get all around better performance. So how to choose and research your keywords. That really comes down to your goal. If you want more sales, phone calls, or you want an inquiry form filled out, you're going to then choose the relevant Google ad campaign to help you with that. So that's the first thing. Second thing is, if you're just starting out in Google Ads, you want to focus on your one or two perhaps main services. And the reason we do that is, first of all, we want to get some money coming in from your Google ad campaigns. We want to focus our efforts on a smaller number of services and get them working first. And this is especially true if you've got a smaller or a lower budget. You really want to just focus on your most profitable services, and then you can expand your campaign out from that. So once you've chosen your services, then what you want to do is you want to brainstorm some of the phrases that customers might search for you for. So if you think back to what sort of things they say to you when they call you, the sort of language that they use, and these are likely going to be the types of things they're going to be searching for. So you don't want to, when you're brainstorming these sort of phrases, you don't want to use industry jargon or things that you would say to your colleagues, but because these things might mean something to you, but they may not be what normal people outside of your industry are actually searching for. So that's the first thing you can do. The other thing you can do, you can hop over to Google and use the autocomplete feature. So for example, if we type in plumber, you'll see up here, this is Google, the autocomplete or the suggestions. It gives us some different things that people are searching for. So blocked drain, so if we even take it a step further and say blocked, people are searching for blocked drains, blocked toilet. So what you want to do is note down some of these relevant terms. Some of them obviously are not going to apply to you. Next thing you can do is you can come down here for people also search for, and you can see more things that people are searching for. And when you click on these, blocked toilet, plumber, Sydney cost. So if we go on that one, that in turn is going to bring up more different queries again. So these are all sort of keywords. Some of them might be good, some of them might not be. So I guess there's some other things you can do to brainstorm and a bit of research. The other thing that you should be considering doing, and I'd recommend this to most service businesses unless you cover a really broad geographic area, is to include your location. So instead of just plumber or blocked toilet, you might include the city that you're in, or even the suburb or the area. And what this is going to do is this is going to make a really highly relevant search phrase. So if someone is searching for someone in that area and your ad comes up and it says that you're also in that area, they're a lot more likely to click on your ad. And that's going to mean lower cost per click, lower conversion costs, and these people are going to be more likely to fill out your form and inquire or call you, whatever you're looking to do. So after we've done that, the next thing we can do is we can go over to Google Ad Planner. So if we jump over to Google AdWords here, move that out of the way. So this is the page that you'll likely be on when you first log in, and you come over to Tools, Keyword Planner. We'll go Discover New Keywords and just type in your service here. Now you probably want to be fairly broad here, so we can do that. We could type in if your service was a blocked toilet or drain. We probably want to put a space in between that. Let's go blocked drain. Then we might go blocked drain Sydney. Going to go get results. And this is going to come up with similar words to what you've typed in. It's going to come up with a whole lot of ideas. So we've got plumber, blocked drain, plumbers near me, emergency plumber, and list goes on. We've got 1,600 odd different keywords here. So it's an awful lot of keywords. So how are we going to decide on what to use? So first of all, you want to look at the monthly searches. Usually more is better, but not always the case, because you want relevant searches. So plumber by itself, even though it's by far got the most searches, it's not really relevant, and well, it's not very precise, and that's going to lead to you not getting a very good conversion rate, or it's going to mean expensive conversions as well, because like we said before, this could mean that these people could be searching for anything to do with plumbing, and not specifically like a blocked drain if that's the service that you're trying to advertise. So if you're trying to advertise a blocked drain, you might, obviously you're going to start with blocked drain. Might even be emergency plumber, emergency blocked drain, or something like that. You've got 24-hour plumbers, so you want to pick out the words that are going to be that you think are going to be most relevant. Next thing you want to do is you want to look at the competition over here. So we've got low, medium, and probably high somewhere, and that just means how many people are advertising or competing for that same keyword. The lower the competition, the cheaper the ads are going to be to run, and the cheaper the conversion cost. You can also get an indication of, here's the low range of the cost per click. So when your ad comes up, if someone clicks on your ad, plumbers near me, or let's go blocked drain, it could potentially cost you $8.83. The top of the range, $31 or $32. And you can see up here too, like different keywords are going to cost different amounts. Some are going to be a lot more expensive, like emergency plumber. Emergency plumber is probably more expensive because someone that types that in is in the market to buy that service right now. It's not something they're going to wait 2 weeks for, like this one here, maybe local plumbers or something like affordable plumbers. That might be that they have a job coming up in a month's time. So that really just means there's businesses prepared to pay a lot more money for that keyword because of the high intent and the high probability that this person is ready to buy right now. So they're the sorts of things that you want to look for. So the next thing you want to do with this too is you can come over here, and this is the location that we're targeting. At the moment it's Australia, so we're going to take that off, and we're going to just put our city in. So now this is just targeting Sydney, and what you'll see is that's going to change the search volumes over here. so they're going to be a lot less, which is fine. The more specific you can get with the area, the better. So we can go even more specific, and we can type in a city or a suburb. So we've got the choice of the city of Parramatta, which is the whole council area, which includes several suburbs, or we could even bring it down right down to just Parramatta. You could list out different suburbs as well. So if you've got a very specific area, you can list out some different suburbs. So that is an idea that's going to get you really targeted results, because people usually like to search for people that are actually in the area. They like to buy from people local to them. So what do we do once we've got this? First, we're going to go through, and if we're emergency plumber, we're going to click on all the keywords that are relevant. So emergency plumber could be 24-hour plumber. That kind of implies an emergency. We're going to have a look for anything that's close, and you want related keywords. You probably don't want to mix emergency plumber up with blocked drain Sydney or hot water heater repair. You want to group like for like together, and the reason we're going to do that is because when we create our ads, we want a relevant ad. We want the text, the copy of the ad, to repeat what the person has typed into Google. So we want it to say, if someone's typed in emergency plumber, we don't want the ad to say something like, hot water heater repair, because there's a disconnect there. So we want the ad to say emergency plumber, and then we want your landing page, which is where they're going to be sent after they click on your ad. We also want that to say emergency plumber as well, and have some text about that. So we want everything to flow and to be connected together. So after you've chosen your keywords there, you can just say add to keywords to create a plan, and Google will add that. And if we come over to saved keywords here, here's the keywords we have saved, and we can add them to our campaign later. Right, so now we're getting sort of a bit closer. So there's just some more ideas for keywords as well. So these are really my proven winning formula keywords for high conversions. And like you can see, there's a bit of a formula to a lot of these. So let's just run through them. So first one is your service plus the location. So it might be plumber Sydney, electrician Melbourne. Having this location, this is called a modifier. So having that there really sort of dials in how specific your keyword is going to be. Next thing is the service and a specific problem. So it might be blocked drain repair, leaky roof fix, or blocked drain plumber, or something like that. We can also add in the location here. So it might be blocked drain plumber Sydney, pest control termites Perth, air conditioner repair Brisbane. So you get the idea. Then we can have the type of service, or the type of customer, I should say. So commercial cleaning services, might be residential cleaning services, residential electrician, commercial electrician. We might have a different sort of qualifier, so the service, and we might have affordable. So house painting, affordable, cheap house painting, best house painting, fast house painting, all those types of things. You probably don't want to have cheap in your ad, because then, unless that's the sort of market you're going for, because you're going to get a certain kind of customer when you have that in there. You could also have a time frame in there, so same day plumbing, 24-hour 7 locksmith. You get the idea. And for this one, you might use specific brands as well. So it might be your service, so air conditioning repair, AC repair, and Dakin. And just a note on that, AC repair, that's probably going to be different to air conditioner repair. So you might want to have both in there, just to be sure. Google may or may not recognize that as two separate words. You could have Toyota car service. What also might be even more specific is it might be Toyota brake repair service, and then you can add your location in this as well. That's going to give you like a really specific search, and you're probably not going to get many clicks from it, but the clicks you do get are probably going to be low cost because it's very specific, and they're going to have a high intent of actually purchasing, because people don't, someone that's purchasing isn't going to type in something so specific usually, unless they really are in the market for that. Next thing is you can use your company name. So this, I really would only recommend this if your brand name is known, if people know you. Or you can use this so your ad comes up when existing customers are looking for you again. So it's probably worth doing for most companies, in fact. The other thing you can do with this is you can use competitor brand names. So your ads can show up when competitors type, or when someone types in your competitor name. And although you can't use their name in your ad, you can advertise the same service. And then you could have service variations and locations. So we've kind of talked about, so these, a lot of these are the winning sort of high converting keywords that are really going to make a big difference. If you have some of these in your campaign, these are going to make a big difference to how many leads you get and the cost, which is going to be much lower. Okay, so now let's have a little talk about keyword and campaign strategy. Now that you know or have a pretty good idea on how to choose your keywords, which are going to be most successful, you need a little bit of a keyword strategy to go along with it. So it's going to depend on your budget. For low budgets, I would prioritize using the exact match type of keyword. So I should backtrack a little bit. There are 3 different types of match types in Google. Exact match, which is pretty much as it sounds. It's going to give you a very closely related term to the keyword that you've used. There's phrase match, which we don't use that so much in 2024, and there is broad match. So broad match is like it sounds. It can give you a lot of different variations. So if you typed in, plumber, it might give you plumbing jobs. It might give you plumbing supplies. It can give you all sorts of different things. So I would reserve the broad match for if you've got a higher budget, because it's going to take longer to be able to optimize that and get the right kind of searches. So going back to low budgets, if you're using the exact match terms, I would start with maybe 5 or 10 exact match terms for your service. Make them longer tail keywords. So it might be blocked drain Sydney or your suburb or something like that if you're a plumber, rather than plumber Sydney, because that's going to cost a lot more. And yeah, like we're saying, use those location modifiers. So once you've started with that, and then you can see how they're performing, and then you can expand your campaign from there. If you've got a higher budget, you might want to start with 2 or 3 broad match keywords. And when you're doing this, you're going to get a lot of unrelated terms to start with. So it's going to be really important to check your search term reports and look for the keywords that aren't relevant to your service or keywords that aren't converting. And what you want to then do is take a note of those keywords and add them as a negative keyword. So a negative keyword is just a keyword that will stop your ad firing. So for example, if you're using plumber Sydney, that might show up in a broad match, might come up for plumber Sydney jobs. So someone might be searching for a job, and for a lot of businesses, obviously they don't want someone looking for the job, they want someone to buy their services. So we're going to add a negative keyword in for jobs. So that will stop Google showing your ad for someone that types in jobs. So that's what you're going to do on a regular basis. And with the broad match to start with, you want to be really looking at these reports every few days to start with, until you've got quite a lot of these negative keywords in there. And then slowly, as the campaign gets dialed in, you can increase the amount of time between adding keywords or adding negative keywords and looking at those search term reports. So the other thing you want to do with this sort of strategy is you're going to look for words that are performing well in your search term, and you're going to pull these out and put them in a separate campaign or separate ad group, I should say. And the reason you're going to do this is so when you do create your ads, you can have a specific ad and or a specific landing page for that actual term. So once you do that, that's really going to increase the number of conversions you get and decrease the cost of those conversions. And another thing, even if your budget is higher, it's always good to use area modifiers. So what are some tips for ongoing keyword management? Main thing we want to do is continually review the search term reports, and we're going to keep adding negatives. We're looking for keywords that aren't relevant, and we're looking for keywords that are triggering your ads that are costing too much money. So we don't want to pause, saying that, I guess we don't want to pause a keyword just because it's cost a lot of money up front. You want to make sure there's enough clicks to justify that. So if it's only had a few clicks, then that's probably not enough data to know whether you should pause that. You might want to wait until it's had 30-40 clicks before making a decision. And the other thing, like I was saying, you're looking for keywords that are performing well, and you're also looking for opportunities to add keywords, things that you may not have thought of, and creating ads for them. So as a recap, start by focusing on 1 to 2 services. Brainstorm the keywords your customers would use to search with. Use Google Keyword Planner to help you, and for small budgets, start with exact match keywords, maybe 5 to 10. Use location modifiers. If you've got a larger budget, start with 2 to 3 broad match keywords, and go back and use some of these winning formulas. These are really going to be high intent keywords that are really going to make a big difference with your campaign. Thanks very much for watching. I've no doubt if you can implement some of these keyword research ideas, some of the hyper converting formula keywords that we've spoke about, that you're going to see a big increase in the number of conversions that you get for your campaign. If you need help with Google Ads, have a look at the link in the description below. You can go to my website and get in touch with me that way. Cheers.